Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. Now today's question on Ask Ali was it was a request more than a question. So it was basically, could I use an existing Charlotte Tilbury palette on one eye and one of Charlotte's new colour-coded quads to see if they look similar. So I'm going to do Charlotte Darling on one eye and I'm going to do the copper quad on the other. So I hope that you enjoy this. I'm going to put some Unisex Healthy Glow on. I'm going to see if I can get any out of this last tube because I've got a new tube, but I want to get the eke as much out of this one, and I'll be back because it might make a few disgusting noises. 1 second. Okay, I'll put some on this part of my face and I've managed to eke out enough to do the rest of my face. Now, one of you asked, seems like this has become quite popular since you've seen me applying it to my face. It is brilliant stuff, I have to admit. One of you asked me if there was a fragrance smell to it. I couldn't say there was a fragrance. It's got a slight smell, but I'm trying to... It smells almost like a very faint smell of vinegar, which sounds disgusting, but there isn't fragrance smell, not like scent. Very slight smell of sort of slightly vinegary. That's the only thing I can describe it. But that makes it sound awful. It's not unpleasant. Very faint smell of vinegar. That's all I can say. It's the only thing I can think of to describe it. But certainly not something that sticks around for very long. So I'm just going to layer this because I've got a load on my hand now from the end of that tube. I have another tube and I have another one on the way because I think I'm going to be using this quite a lot while I'm in the house. And I'll put some on my neck. Waste not, want not, as it's on my hands. And what happens is when you massage it in, it breaks up the little pigment beads in it, which is how it works. And just to tell you all, I do have clean hands. Well, I did before I started applying this. So now that I've applied this, I am going to wash my hands again because it's covered in Unisex Healthy Glow, and I'll be right back. Okay, now today's my day of using up products that are very nearly empty. So I'm going to use this Magic Away in shade 6, which also needs to go in the bin soon because there's hardly anything left in it. But I don't like to waste product. I'm going to dab that with my fingers. I definitely feel like I need to use some concealer, even though it's very good at colour correcting, definitely under my eyes at least. And I'm just going to use some to prime my lids as well. Magic Away is really good for priming your eyelids because it's quite sticky, so it grabs your eye makeup. And I'm just going to put a little bit down here and down here. And I always do a bit the side of my nose because I've got matching thread veins. Okay, that should do. And now I'm going to put a very light dusting of powder on, and I'm going to use the It Cosmetics by Pores powder, and then we'll get on and do the eyeshadow. Just one more thing before I get going. I'm going to do my brows, and I'll do it quickly on fast forward, starting with precisely my brow pencil by Benefit, and then Give Me Brow, as I talked about yesterday. Okay, so when I swatch these colours from the new Copper Lights quad, they looked quite similar, although not identical, to Charlotte Darling palette. And also, when I swatched the matte part of this eyeliner that goes with the palette with Pillow Talk, it looks very similar as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Copper Lights on one eye and use this matte side, and then on the other side I'm going to use Charlotte Darling and use the Pillow Talk liner. Let me just show you the swatches to remind you. So first of all, I'll show you the swatches for Copper Lights. So we have Prime, Enhance, Smoke, and Pop. And I'm just going to swatch next to my hand on that side. I'm going to swatch you all the 6 colours from Charlotte Darling. So we have Prime, similar, not the same, Enhance, bit lighter, Smoke, these aren't the same, are they? Shadow number 4, I shouldn't have said Prime, Enhance, Smoke. That one looks similar-ish but more pink to that one. Then we have 2 more matte shades. That one, and the darkest one. So I'm just interested to see if I can get a similar look. And then to show you the 2 eyeliners before I clean my hands again, here is the matte side of the Copper eyeliner, and here is the Pillow Talk eyeliner. Virtually identical. All right, so I'm going to see if I can create the same look with 2 different palettes on 2 eyes. So I'm just going to take a picture of this for you, and I'm also going to wash my hands again, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have Copper Lights on this side, and I have Charlotte Darling on this side, and I'm using 2 different sets for the same brush, Charlotte Tilbury brushes, the blending brush and the smudge brush. So I'm just making sure that they're nice and clean. They should be, and we'll get going. So first on in, I'm going to, let's put on the copper quad. So I'll put on the prime. So I'll just put this on completely and then see if I can recreate it using the Charlotte Darling palette. So I'm just putting on the prime. Enhance. And just taking that halfway along and up into the crease. So you can layer this one up. And then the smoke shade, and then I'm going to gradually nestle that right in to the socket. Just layer up a little bit more. And then finish it off with the prime shade up here, and then a little bit of the pop shade. So I've used all the colours. So with the blending brush, I'm just going to take a bit of the pop shade and put it on the lid. And I've got fingerprints already. These pop shades just aren't the same as their old ones. Okay, then I'm going to take some of this with the smudge brush. I'm just going to, actually no, I'm going to keep that for the liner. So let me just do the liner as well. So I'm going to take the matte shade. I'm going to take that along. Like so. And then I will use a bit of the copper lights on the other side, the metallic, because I think I can recreate that with Charlotte Darling. Okay, now the other side, hopefully this isn't going to look really different. The other side, I'm going to take Charlotte Darling. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix shades. Let me get a box. I'm going to mix shades, these two here, to put it on the mobile lid. Now the prime shade of the copper palette has got quite a bit of yellow in it, which is what concerns me. It's not going to look quite as yellow. Can you see what I mean? It looks pinker. This looks a lot warmer. Okay, and then I'm going to take, I think the one that's closest to, I'm going to take a little bit of, I'm just going to use this one on its own. This one on its own, and take that up into the socket. So I'm using it as a kind of enhanced shade. And then I'm going to take this one here as the smoke shade, because it's quite similar looking to the smoke shade of Copper Lights. And then with my smudge brush, I'm going to take the prime shade and put it under my brow. And then I'm going to take the Pillow Talk eyeliner this time and put it on this side. And then to recreate the pop shade, there really isn't anything. Again, I think I'm just going to mix a bit more of these two shades here. And that is how it looks. So I think in general, the main difference is the lack of gold in the Charlotte Darling, but they do look very similar. And I bet you that my other half won't notice a thing. I'm going to put some mascara on and I'll be right back. Okay, I finished off by putting the Copper Lights Metallic eyeliner in both waterlines. So I'm just going to zoom in so that you can see. So this one is Copper Lights. And this one is Charlotte Darling. So they're very similar except for this gold. This is gold. This is more rose gold. Okay? But the sort of socket colours are very similar. And as for the eyeliner, I really don't think you can see much of a difference at all between the matte Copper Lights liner and the Pillow Talk liner. Okay, so I am going to finish off before I go. After I've taken pictures, I'm going to put a little bit of gold on this side just to even out the look. And then, but that's after I filmed. Now I'm just going to put some lipstick on and some blush, and I'll be right back and tell you what I applied. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, I thought you might like me to see me putting the lipstick on. So I used Goldgasm and I used the Beach Stick in Moon Beach on my cheeks, and on my lips I'm going to use Pillow Talk. Followed by Stoned Rose. Followed by Lip Bluster in Blondie, which is basically the lip kit that goes with the Golden Goddess. And that is my look for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you can see there's very little difference. So that if you have got Charlotte Darling, you might want to think again about whether or not you need, that's copper, sorry, that's the copper one. That's Charlotte Darling. Bit pinkier, sort of, this is, I would say, this is rose gold. This is gold, sort of warmer gold. Rose gold. So if you're a rose gold person, go for Charlotte Darling. If you're more of a warm goldy glow, then go for Copper Lights. Okay, hope that's helped. And I'm going to take the pictures and then I'm going to add a little bit more yellow to that so that it evens it out. Take care. See you all very soon. Have a lovely day. Bye. Mwah. Stay safe. I just wanted to say, I came back to say one last thing. I did try an attempt to make these two eyeshadows look the same, But it is worth noting that with Charlotte Darling, that you can actually smoke this up a lot more. So you have got a lot darker shades here. So for instance, you could have gone in with that one and made it look a lot darker. So it is worth noting that I did actually try to make these look similar. And you can make them look, you can make Charlotte Darling look quite a bit different by smoking it up a bit more, like that. So just in case you're a bit worried, you've just ordered the Copper Lights palette and you think it's going to look the same, you can, Charlotte Darling can look very different if you want it to. And now I'm going to look even more different. Never mind, I will make it look the same. Take care, and this is really goodbye for now. Okay, see you all tomorrow.